Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is Delaver and I'm a technical analyst here at TestWheel. And I'd like to start off our webinar today with a quick look at the current state of software testing and the industry itself and how we at TestWheel aim to help organizations accelerate testing, save time, save resources, and release better quality software with fewer bugs. So testing has become one of the most expensive parts of the software development process. It often creates bottlenecks, leading to slowed down development pipelines and stalled project releases. In today's industry environment, QA and testing managers are expected to deliver more results with fewer resources. Currently, the industry standard is to use a combination of manual testing and script-based test automation. So for those non-technical users here with us today, I'll take a moment to describe kind of what manual testing is and what the script-based testing process looks like. So manual testing involves testers repeatedly performing the same actions, often clicking through the same workflows for hours, only with different sets of data. Beyond executing tests, they also must manually document results and update their teams. This approach is time-consuming, prone to human error, slows down the feedback loop, and doesn't scale well for agile or CI/CD environments. There's also script-based automation, like I mentioned, tools like Selenium that help reduce manual effort. Selenium can be used to help testers create repeatable test scripts that enable faster execution, broader test coverage, with more consistent and reliable results than manual testing. The added benefits include smoother integration into CI/CD pipelines, reducing long-term costs. However, test automation has its own limitations. The setup costs can be high, and there's a hidden manual effort through ongoing maintenance. Tests can be flaky or unreliable due to frequent code changes, and every update to your code often requires updates to your test scripts from a tester. And let's be clear, automation isn't a complete replacement for manual testing because it doesn't provide complete coverage. For example, script automation can be effective for repetitive regression testing, but it doesn't handle exploratory or single functional testing very efficiently. And that's where TestWheel comes in. TestWheel delivers the benefits of both manual and automated testing without the typical drawbacks, saving organizations time and resources. Our mission at TestWheel is to combine the flexibility of manual testing with the simplicity of automation testing, providing broad coverage across regression, functional, API, load, web, mobile, and native mobile testing. TestWheel also simplifies test case storage, maintenance, and provides detailed automated reporting, giving teams greater visibility and control throughout the testing lifecycle. Again, with changing market demands, managers are expected to provide more with fewer resources, and TestWheel is built to meet that challenge. Our AI-enhanced platform is designed with accessibility and performance in mind, especially for small to mid-sized teams. So if your team is manually testing today or running script automation, TestWheel can help you cut your testing time dramatically. For instance, in a recent U.S. Air Force software deployment, TestWheel reduced test execution time from 40 days to just 14. That's a 62% improvement, and we're proud to have helped streamline the development of that application. So while there are other test automation tools on the market, like Tricentis, Catalan, and Mabel, many of them silo key functionalities like web, load, API, and mobile testing across separate platforms or require additional subscriptions. This means organizations almost find themselves paying for multiple tools just to cover the testing needs. TestWheel takes a different approach. We offer a all-in-one inclusive platform where your team only needs to invest in a single solution, whether you're testing APIs, load performance, functional behavior, or mobile applications. TestWheel handles it all, eliminating the need for multiple tools and subscriptions. So what makes this possible? It's TestWheel's 100% cloud-based architecture. There's no need to download software, launchers, or browser extensions. With just an internet connection, your team can run tests and access test data from any device, saving time, reducing complexity, and streamlining your entire QA process. So users of Other test automation platforms on the market, like Tricentis, often cite that it requires months or even up to a year of training before users feel confident. Teams that adopt these platforms frequently report that they spend just as much time learning how to use the tool as they do actually running the tests. This defeats the purpose of automation as the goal of saving time and accelerating releases becomes lost. So TestWheel is built for ease of use, even for non-technical users, and we take pride in our short learning curve. Test cases are written in plain English using a simple Excel template, which we'll see in the demonstration shortly, allowing new users to adopt the platform and start testing quickly. TestWheel also offers other methods of gathering data, like converting manual test cases into automation scripts using generative AI, also using a record and playback feature. So there's several ways you can apply TestWheel quickly. Many organizations struggle to find qualified staff with scripting experience for test creation and maintenance. TestWheel helps address this challenge by expanding your potential talent pool. It reduces training time and minimizes resource requirements. So in my experience, no-code users can be trained to execute basic functional tests in about a week. And with our platform, our support staff, including myself, are available to answer your questions via email or scheduling one-on-one training sessions to make sure your team is up and running and up to speed. So if your team is currently using software development tools, TestWheel integrates seamlessly into your existing DevOps pipeline. There's no need to replace the tools your team already uses. Whether you work with Azure DevOps, Jira, JMeter, or other platforms, TestWheel complements your current tool stack without disruption. If you don't see a tool listed here and are more curious about TestWheel's capabilities, I'd be happy to schedule a one-on-one conversation to explore, further custom integrations tailored to your environment, or just get you some more information if you need regarding our integrations. Let's talk security. TestWheel is Iron Bank listed. So the Iron Bank is the U.S. Department of Defense's security repository of trusted software tools. So what that means is our platform has been vetted and meets the DoD's highest standards for security, compliance, and reliability, making us a trusted partner for mission-critical software development. So why is this relevant to those in the commercial sector? Take the insurance industry, for example. Testing teams in this space work with highly sensitive data and often rely on slower internal solutions to meet their strict regulatory standards. While managers would prefer to adopt modern automation tools, they face significant hurdles due to lengthy vetting and compliance processes. So TestWheel's Iron Bank listing streamlines the adoption for organizations under these constraints and allows teams to modernize their testing workflows without compromising on security or compliance. And finally, before we jump into the demo, I'd like to touch on the accessibility and affordability of our platform. While other platforms can cost up to $50,000 a year and take months to learn, TestWheel gets teams using test automation in under a week, with pricing starting at just $10 a month for basic testing. So we're proud to support organizations with smaller budgets and leaner teams, those who need enterprise-grade demo. My plan is to kind of further break down the TestWheel framework. We're going to focus mostly on just functional testing today, kind of how it works, the UI of TestWheel, and some of the functionalities that we've got going on. So to kick things off, we'll go ahead and log in here. So once we log in, you get straight to the dashboard, and TestWheel's dashboard provides users a comprehensive overview of all the testing they do using the framework through several different charts and graphics to summarize your testing using this framework over time. Jump over to the next page here. So TestWheel is built to allow a collaborative testing structure where you can have a single organization with a single admin and multiple testers and developers working together on testing to help streamline project development. So this would be where you add the users. The next page we have here is the application page. And the application page holds the name, type of test, description, and environment of all the tests that you build in TestWheel. We'll come back to this page when I actually create and run a functional test for you. But before that, I'll break down kind of what we're looking at. So if you come over here to the right side under healing, TestWheel has implemented an AI augmented methodology for self-healing. And what this does basically is it identifies any minor changes to HTML locators or selectors for certain elements in your test case, and then it will go ahead and update those for you and provide you an error report at the end of your test, explaining what was different and how it was changed to be fixed. And you can just toggle this on and off using this switch here. All right. The next button you see here is Edit, and you can use this to edit previously created applications, change the environment that they're hosted in, and also the type of application or test it's going to be, as well as the description. Okay. The next is the green indicator button here, and this is where we initiate our tests from. You just simply come here, select the browser that you want to run the test on, and move forwards from there. And finally, we have the plug icon at the end, which will redirect you to the record and playback feature. So this feature is one of the two ways that you can use to gather test data for TestWheel. The other one is what I'm going to be showing in a little bit here. But for this one, you merely open the recorder, select the application you want to record data for, and then provide the URL. Go ahead and run through a series of actions. And when we head back, you'll see TestWheel has recorded the login email, password, and all the steps following as well. And you have the option to either export this as is back into TestWheel or edit right here before you do that. The record and playback feature also provides XPath, CSS selectors, and class names, which makes it really easy, as well as ID and name, which makes it really easy to just collect the HTML data for your tests when you're using the Excel documents to create test cases. So I've been talking a lot about these Excel documents. If we head over to the document page, this is where all the documents pertaining to specific tests will be held. You'll be able to download pre-formatted Excel documents to then fill out with their respective data. And once these documents have been created, it's a simple process of uploading them to their application, and then the test is ready to run. Using this button here, you can download authentication, UI properties, and user data. And I'll explain a bit more about these sheets in a second. So once you've gone ahead, downloaded the documents, filled them out, and re-uploaded them, TestWheel will produce Selenium automation scripts in the backend to automate the tests. And there are, like I was saying, there's 3 test documents. All right. The next tab we see is test results. And as the name suggests, it holds all previous test runs and the results along with reports, bugs, and videos. Once you run a test, TestWheel will automatically redirect you to the results page. And then once it completes, you'll be able to access all that information here. Now, before I start a test, let's take a deeper look into the actual documents. Everyone can see the Excel sheet? Yeah. So to start off, we have the authentication file. This file has 3 sheets, an about me, the data pool, and test script data pool. The about me details what each cell in the next 2 sheets are supposed to house, as well as how to fill them out. The data pool sheet holds the URLs for each environment that the user is testing. In this test case, it's just a simple login test case on a IRS tax filing service. And so for that reason, I have the same URL through all of these. But if I wanted, I could have a different URL for each environment for dev, test, UAT, and production. Mhm. And then the test script data pool holds the test script workflow, as you can see here. So right now, this test case is very simple. It's just a login. If I wanted, I could add test form. Don't have to open the browser. We're not closing the browser, and run. And this would be how you add another workflow or another test case into your workflow. Okay. The next sheet we have is the UI property sheet, which is actually linked to through this column here, property sheet name. Now the UI property sheets breaks each test case into its own sheet and allows users to fill in information on a case-by-case basis. So again, you get an about sheet for this page as well, which explains what each cell and column hosts, the kind of details that it hosts. And then down here, you'll see the test name. So in this case, we have test login to start, and test frequently asked questions is the next one. Okay. So looking at the type, value, and action columns, you'll see all the user has to do is select the type of data or the type of selector that they're using, as well as which action that they're using, and then find and input the corresponding HTML selectors. All right. So for this, you can either use the record and playback tool, or if you're a bit more experienced, you can go in and gather that data yourself through the UI of your software. And finally, we have the user data sheet. And again, we get an about me. It explains kind of the rules and how to fill in the user data sheet. So this sheet houses all the test data values corresponding to the UI property sheet. And using the start and end tags, you'll see here, the login, you can add the test cases listed within the authentication and UI properties files, and then add the corresponding user data as well. And once the set of documents is completed, you simply return to the documents page, upload the documents to the respective application, and start running your test. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we navigate to the application page. And the test that I just showed you was a tax to e-file, an IRS tax e-filing application. So what we're going to do now is create a new application. We'll call it tax to e-file. Test application. Provide a description, select the type of test, and then select the environment that we're testing in. For this specific test case, it doesn't matter which one we select, but if we had different URLs for each environment, then it would be important to make sure you select the correct environment. So we've gone ahead and registered that application here now. And as of right now, it has no data. If we check in application data, you can select the application we just created, and it's empty. Right? So now we're going to remedy that by heading back to the documents page and uploading those documents that we were just looking at. So we'll head to desktop. Select the application by select the appropriate folder by navigating to it. The order that you upload them in is important. It's authentication, then UI properties, and then user data. The description can be whatever you want as long as it's over 4 characters. Provide the UI properties. Again, select the application, provide a description. And finally, user data. And here we have the 3 documents uploaded and ready to go. So now once they've been uploaded, we can head back to the application data page, double check, make sure all the information made it to its appropriate area. Here we go. We've got the URL. We've got the UI property sheet. All test steps, their XPaths, and the entire report has made it. Move into the authentication sheet. And finally, user data. Any updates and changes that you need to make to the documents can be made within the TestWheel UI. You do not have to return to the Excel after this. Any minor changes or user data changes that you need to make can all be done within TestWheel UI once you've uploaded the set of documents. All right. So now we're going to head back to the application page and go ahead and start this test. Select a browser that we'd like. In this case, I'll be doing Chrome. And just like that, we've been redirected to the test results page. So while that one runs, I've already run a test here earlier. We can go ahead and check out what the report looks like. So you get a very detailed report with TestWheel. It provides a overarching breakdown along with a graphic describing how many test steps passed or failed, as well as the entire module. So in this case, if we had more workflows following login, we could have had a test form 1099 and test another form after that, test log out, and it would have given us an overarching pass-fail result for each of those, as well as the step-by-step test report. Along with corresponding screenshots. They look like this. So here's the email. And here's the logged in test step. Yeah. And this is what the video looks like. And that was the test case.
I have a question. You only support, like, Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. You don't support Safari?
As of right now, we are only supporting Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. The other browsers are in the pipeline.
Okay.
All right, so they will be supported soon. All right. And for additional support with TestWheel, you can navigate to docs.testwheel.com, and this kind of gives you more detailed breakdown if you want to check it on your own before you reach out for more support. All right. Head over to functional testing. You can get more information on the documents themselves as well. Much more detailed breakdown on how to fill them out and what goes into it.